Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all the celebrations of light that go on this time of year. So good to have you here with me today and continuing our process for releasing the year and opening to new possibilities and embracing the strength that we've gained this year as we head into whatever the challenges of the new year will bring, and we are fully equipped to handle those and whatever comes up. We've been doing our work and recognizing all of the challenges we've been through this year that have also been sources of growth and strength for us. And all of the wonderful things that have happened this year, the gratitude, the good times we've had and shared, and we embrace all of those as we move into the new year as well. So we are working with the first 5 steps today, releasing our gratitude list for the new year, releasing our good times, our hopes and dreams and expectations for the year, that some of them happened, some of them didn't, and our disappointments and difficulties, which most definitely happened. And here we are to live and tell about them. And they have brought us great strength. And maybe some of your disappointments and difficulties also landed on your gratitude list because of the lessons and gifts that those brought to you. And, that's okay. We do that. There's that sunshine coming in again. So today we're working on adding to that releasing process, the forgiveness step, and all those things that we need to forgive from this year. Maybe it's forgiving a situation. I've had to do that many times over the years, forgiving a situation because it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And I usually end up needing to forgive myself. Or maybe there's people involved that I need to work on forgiveness with, not necessarily with them one-on-one, but within myself. And perhaps we need to forgive our higher power for whatever happened this year, that maybe we blame circumstances beyond what we can see, and that's all okay. It's all okay. Whatever needs to come up. This is the forgiveness step is the step for that. So even though we're releasing it today in our meditation time, I invite you to continue to journal on all these steps through the end of the year. And there's an energy shift that happens with the new year. But if you find yourself in the first few weeks of the new year continuing to need to journal on some things, do it, because there's lots of good energy in that new year energy to support continued release as that new year energy kind of sets into place. We know if you've ever made New Year's resolutions, and I imagine we all have, even if as kids, it's kind of like, okay, Santa Claus is done. Let's, what's next? What do we need to look forward to next? And okay, we're going to make all these changes in the new year, or the new year is going to be different. I know when I was a kid, I just had this image in my mind year after year of the end of the year being kind of like this ladder that I had climbed down, and now I was at the bottom of the ladder. I don't know why I saw it like this, but I was at the bottom of the ladder, and it was kind of dark and cave-like. I grew up in Iowa, so it was cold and, not always gray, but we had our winter gray days, and, so I felt kind of like I was in a cave by the end of the year. All the Christmas decorations, I still feel that way today, where I have all the Christmas decorations over, and when the new year comes, I am so ready to put those things away and clear out the space and all the colors and the stimulation and everything. I'm just like, okay, I want my space back. And it's the new year. And as a child in this picture, when January came around, I felt like I was at the top of the ladder again, and the sun was shining, and it was a clear day. And just seeing feeling that new energy, which I didn't know at the time. I just had this picture. I didn't know why, but, as we're releasing the end of the year and all that we've landed on about who we are today, we're letting all of that go so that we can be at the top of the ladder again. And it's not that we're going down during the year, but it was more, I think, the picture of a calendar, going down to the end of the year, in that image when I was a child. But definitely there's just something that's there to support us. And what happens too, and we'll talk about this in January in our meditation introductions about usually come the end of January, February, that energy sets in place. So it doesn't have the motivating factor like it does at the beginning of the year. I'm totally jumping ahead here, but just so that we know, this is just what happens, and it's just part of life. It's part of the process, but that energy lands. And so it doesn't have that motivating, energetic push like it does at the beginning of the year. And that's when our commitment to ourselves needs to be more conscious and more mindful, because we're not riding the wave of that energy. We are then establishing that and embodying that energy in our choices, in our everyday actions. And so this is also kind of underscores why it's valuable to release our year, so we're not carrying all that weight of this year into that new energy where we've got other things that are on our plate to do next year. And we don't want to have to be carrying all of this, our forgiveness needs and so forth, from the present year into that space where we're working on establishing something brand new for ourselves throughout the year. And we're really motivated at the beginning, and then we just have to keep working it constantly and consciously, so that by the end of next year we're embodying something brand new, and we've learned new lessons, and we've walked through many experiences and worked with many people in our lives during the year. And then at the end of next year, we'll do it again, because that's the way it goes, year after year. But in the meantime, we are growing and changing and expanding and learning about who we are and our greater potential that probably we didn't even know we had. So anyway, so forgiveness, back to forgiveness today, that we release this, but we're also open to anything else we might need to stick on that forgiveness step, or any of the other steps between now and Sunday when the new year begins. And again, for several weeks after that, if we need to, we're just going to keep letting go so that we are as open as possible for the new year. We are also this week looking at our last two steps of the 7-step process. And I like putting these steps together because they're kind of similar. We have the release step and we have the completion step, which sound like the same step. The release step is a place where it's a step where we let everything go, and we really look at what we're releasing. And if you're on my email list, you received the questions or the statements for these last two steps. And it's basically, the release step is writing a letter to your higher power, releasing the year, saying, I give all this to you, I let it all go. And whether your higher power is the energy of the universe, if it's scientific, if it's, whatever, this is just a process. We're letting it go, just like we would let go of anything that has been valuable to us, that has been important to us over the year, or anything else in our lives. We're letting it go so that we can move on. So whatever that looks like to you, I like writing a letter to my higher power, to the universe, to my spiritual guides, if you will, and just saying, hey, here's where I missed the mark, and here's what I'm so grateful for, and here are the struggles I'm grateful for, and here's my commitment to myself for the new year, and letting that go. So the 6th step is writing that and letting go of everything else that we've journaled about so far. And then the completion step is just simply that. We're complete. We're complete. We've reviewed our other steps. If there's anything else we need to acknowledge on that release step, and the completion step is letting it go. So we're going to be doing that. And today we're going to release those first 5 steps through gratitude and open up and stir the pot a little bit for the release step of writing that letter and letting everything go. So let's begin. I invite you to get comfortable if you're not already, and take a couple of deep breaths to settle into the place where you're sitting. And we see before us that set of 7 steps. The one you've been working with, or maybe it looks new today. And as you stand at the bottom of these 7 steps, hold in your arms that basket of the year, that basket of 2022 filled with the love, the joy, the challenges, the hurts, the expectations met or unmet, the desires for the new year that are carrying over, all these experiences. Hold them in your arms with love, gratitude, and just feel that love and gratitude flowing. Holding on to this basket with all that love and gratitude, we take that first step of gratitude and just see those people, places, experiences from the year that you have been so grateful for. Let them rise to the surface of your basket full of the year. Just let your gratitude flow. Even say a little something within yourself about all these things that you're grateful for. Thank you for all that this year has brought into my life. Thank you for all the people who've come and gone or stuck around that have enriched me so beautifully. Thank you for all the experiences that have been joyful and have blessed me and have helped me be stronger. Thank you. And we release all of this. There's a warm, beautiful light pouring forth on this set of stairs, and we release all of these gratitude items into that light. We are open to all the new people, places, experiences that are coming forth in the new year that we will be grateful for this time next year. Just put out our gratitude in advance because we know they're coming. Take a deep breath now as we take the next step of good time. Maybe some of these were on your gratitude stack. It's okay, we can give them double duty. Just let those good times from the year that stand out to you especially come to the surface of your basket. What has brought you great joy this year? Feel the joy and the love and gratitude for these times. And we release them into this light as well, knowing that the new year will be filled with many good times. And we open our sight to really acknowledge those good times because they're so easy to get lost in the difficulties. We open to those new good times in the new year. We take a deep breath as we take the next step of hopes and dreams. All of the expectations of the year that some were met, some were not, some are going with us to be worked on and some accomplished in the new year. But we especially release the ones that didn't work out, and maybe those are also on our disappointment step. We acknowledge the hopes and dreams that we thought would happen this year and didn't because it just didn't work out, or maybe we didn't put the effort in it that we thought we were going to be able to. Or maybe it just, some of those hopes and dreams just didn't stay important to us throughout the year. And that's okay too. We let them come to the surface right now. Just let a few come to mind that stand out to you the most. And as you acknowledge them, just let them float into that light and dissolve. And even the other ones that you wrote down, and you don't have to think about them all, just kind of visualize some representation of them floating out of your basket and dissolving into this light. We release those desires that no longer serve us. And we acknowledge those that remain, that are important to us, that we're carrying with us into the new year. And let them all dissolve into that light, knowing that the ones that will stick around will be there with us in the new year, with new energy, new vibrancy, new resolve. We take a deep breath and take that next step. Disappointments and difficulties. We let the ones that stand out to us come to the surface right now. Any emotions still attached to them, just let them all surface. Perhaps they don't have the energy now that they did when we first started this process several weeks ago. Notice that. Notice that it doesn't have the charge. And for that, we are grateful. And as you think of the ones that stand out to you, just again, let them come out of your basket and dissolve into that light. They are done. They serve their purpose, and we are who we are because we walked through them triumphantly. We let all of these disappointments and difficulties come out of our basket and dissolve into this light. Whether we're consciously thinking about them or all the ones we know we've written down or thought about, whether they got down on paper or not, we just let them all go. Dissolved into this light. We are wiser, stronger, more resilient than we were this time last year. And we take that strength and resiliency and wisdom into the new year with us. Expanded and able to meet whatever challenges we'll face next year. But we will have acknowledged this triumph. And we can tap into that confidence and strength anytime we need to. It belongs to us. We own it, we embody it, and it will never leave us. Take a deep breath and take the next step of forgiveness. This is one of the most important steps in this process. I would venture to say it is the most important step in the process because this is where we release all the emotional energy that we might otherwise carry into the new year. We don't want that to weigh us down. We do not want and will not let that weigh us down in the new year. There's nothing that we've addressed in this process that is worth carrying over. So think of right now, let's come to the surface of your basket, those people and situations that you've been working on to forgive. It's okay to notice if there's extra work to be done, but just notice that. Just let it all come up and out. We're just going to release what we release, and we can keep working on anything that remains. Oftentimes, forgiving ourselves is the most difficult part of the step. Just let all that come up and out, dissolving into the light as we think about it. Even if energy remains around a forgiveness situation, let ourselves be willing to forgive, willing to let it go, willing to be kind, loving, compassionate to ourselves and to others. And we're just learning on this journey as well. We can hold people accountable. We can hold ourselves accountable without condemnation, with loving, kind, matter of factness. We're needed. Let these dissolve as they come up. We take a deep breath. We notice anything that needs perhaps more journaling, more desire, push, will to forgive. And we commit to ourselves that we will give ourselves the gift of forgiveness for the new year. And before the new year even shows its face. We commit to giving ourselves a clean slate within ourselves and with anyone else. Doesn't mean we put ourselves in danger or let somebody off the hook that needs accountability from us. But we do it with great respect for ourselves and for others as human beings in a faltering learning process of life, just like we are. We make that commitment to ourselves right now. We take a deep breath and take the next step of release. With our basket in our arms, we make a statement of release to our higher power and whatever our understanding is of that. Give this all to you. Give this all to you. Thank you for everything I've experienced this year, the ups and downs and lefts and rights. All the ones I enjoyed, all the situations and people I've loved and enjoyed, and all of the ones I did not. All the lessons I grew through, and all of the ones I can do better with in the new year. Thank you for all of these. Thank you for all of these learning opportunities. Thank you for helping me remember that life is not about everything being perfectly in place, but it's about learning and growing through what comes into our world, into our lives to grow through. Whether we love it or not like it so much, those situations, those people belong to us. And we commit to our own center, to our own beingness, to walk through them with dignity and purpose, with compassion and loving kindness. And we let our basket float into that light. And perhaps we still have work to do this week. Perhaps we feel complete and can sail through the week knowing we've done our work. We feel complete with it. Just let it all go. A deep breath and feel ourselves floating down to the ground. Feeling lighter. Feeling ready for our day, ready for this last week of the old year. And we feel our bodies filled with that light. Every cell in our body is filled with that light that has helped us release so far and continues to help us release. And with gratitude, we take a deep breath. You can continue to spend some time in this light. Just invite you to do so. If you need to go about your day with me, I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths to let your mind body system know that we're switching gears. Thank you for spending extra time with me today to do this process. We'll start on the meditation a little bit sooner next week. We will be doing all 7 steps next week on January 2nd. And I look forward to completing this process with you and starting a whole new year of our Monday morning meditation. Have a wonderful week, a wonderful New Year celebration, knowing that you are walking away from all those experiences that have made you who you are right now and opening up to that light and energy of the new year in a wonderful way. Thank you so much and a wonderful new year to you. Bye-bye.